All right, we are going to work on adding mixed numbers. We're just building off of what we've been doing, guys, with the adding fractions. It's exactly the same process. You're finding common denominator, you're simplifying if you need to. Everything is exactly the same as what we've been doing, except now we're putting a whole number in front of it. So don't look at it and be intimidated by it. It's exactly the same process, okay? Let's start off with 1 1/4 plus 5 1/2. The easiest way to go about this is to separate the whole numbers from the fractions. So to do that, take away your whole numbers. So you're going to look at 1 plus 5, and then you're going to take away your fractions and your 1/4 plus your 1/2. So separate your two problems. So your 1 plus 5, that's easy. You've got your 6. And then your 1/4 plus your 1/2, that looks like what we just did in previous videos and previous IXL examples. Okay, so for here, you need to find your common denominator. So to do that, you can use your multiplication chart if you need to. You can find your common denominator for that if you need to. Use your 2's column, use your 4's column. If you can look at it and see and know, that's fine. Looking at this, I know that my common denominator for this is 4. Okay, so I'm going to change that to my 4. For here, since my 4 stayed, I know that my 1 will stay. To get from 2 to 4, I multiplied by 2. So I'll multiply by 2 up here. And 1 times 2 is 2. And then I'm going to add 1 plus 2 is 3 and 4. Okay, so I've got my whole number is 6. And my fraction is 3/4. So my answer for that one is 6 3/4. Okay. All right, let's look at one a little more challenging. Still same concept. 8 3/4 plus 5 1/3. Same thing, separate your whole numbers, separate your fraction. Okay, so my whole numbers are 8 and 5. And my fractions are 3/4 and 1/3. All right, 8 and 5 is going to give me 13. 3/4 and my 1/3, I need to find my common denominator, which is 12. All right, took that times 3. And I end up with 9 as my numerator. I took this times 4. And I end up with 4 as my numerator. Okay, when I add these together, my 9 plus 4, I end up with 13. Now, looking at this, this is an improper fraction. So this means that this is bigger than 1. Okay, so this takes us back to what we did on our orange checklist, okay? So you need to make this into a mixed number. So you can do this by doing your division, okay? If I took out 12 from this, because I took out 12 12s, which equals 1 whole. So how many wholes could I pull out of this? You could pull out 1 whole, okay? Because I could take out 12 12s. I could take 1 whole out, and I would be left with 1 12th. So this equals 1 and 1/12. And I already had 13. So now what I need to do is I need to take my 13 and my 1 and 1/12, and I need to combine those. Because this was my whole number, and this was my fraction. So I need to put those two together. So when I do that, my final answer is 14 and 1/12. There you go.